Good afternoon. My name is Salahuddin Masoom. As Janet said, I teach in technologies. So I actually joined Southwest back in fall 2010, and starting from the very beginning, I was excited about the PAWS. But at some point, I realized that it's really tedious to create the question bank and the quizzes in PAWS, which actually change your life for sure once you create it. And I have seen many faculties, struggling. I'm saying, it takes a long time, long commitment to do all of those. So then I tried to find something to see whether we can change this and we can make it a little bit easier and efficient for us. So today I'm going to show you one of the tools that I found online. This tool was originally programmed by University of Wisconsin-Madison. They have an instruction design team who actually developed this one, and this is free online for everybody. For some reason, the website is down. It was down last night, but I have the soft copy of the tool. So after this presentation session, I'll send the tool to you. So it's a very small, I'm saying not too much, taking too much space on your hard drive. So you can easily just keep it there and use it if you like it, of course. So let's see what we have in this tool and how we can use it to make our time and PAWS quizzes creation more efficient and easy. Again, the name of the tool is D12 Question Importer Tool. Okay. Again, at first you have to set it up. It's very simple. All you have to do is either you download or you got my copy, so you just you can use that one. So you can just keep it as a folder and then just click on the exe file to open it. How does it work? We'll talk about that, and we'll also show you several different types of question patterns. I'm saying these are the most common questions we use in PAWS. Multiple choice, multi-select, true, false, ordering, matching, and short answer. Okay, so we'll try to cover all of these, and we'll show you the shortcut that will actually help you convert your paper question, which probably is in doc or PDFs, very easily into PAWS. Okay, on the fly. All right, so how does it work? The idea is, I'm assuming that we all do our test quizzes somewhere. Let's say we have everything in paper, right? That means you have something like doc, right? Or maybe PDF. So the way it works is you just copy whatever you have in the paper document to a very basic text editor, right? Like Notepad, probably very primitive one, right? Or Wattpad. The reason we recommend Notepad is because the Notepad is very primitive one, and it actually you can get rid of all of those fancy formatting things that you have hidden in Word file, which you don't want in this case. Okay, so you just copy and paste into Notepad. Very simple. I'll show you exactly all of those when we'll be showing you the demos. Once you do it, you do a little bit of modifications in the Notepad files. We'll also show you how to do the modifications, not too much. Once you finish the modifications, you use the tool. Remember the tool that we are talking about. You use the tool to convert this Notepad file into another type of file called CSV file, meaning that is the extension of the file, CSV. I'm sure that some of you probably have seen that extension. CSV means comma separated value file. Okay, this is something which can be opened by Excel. It looks like Excel. If you open, it's like an Excel, 2016 or any older versions. You can even open it using Notepad. Okay, I'll also show you how it looks like if you open it. You actually don't have to open it. All you have to do is just create the CSV file. Once you create the CSV file, you can upload the CSV file into PAWS. Once you upload it, suddenly all of the questions that you had in your paper quiz or test will be there in PAWS. So basically, think about this. I'm not sure how many of you have tried to create the quiz in PAWS. The problem is, in PAWS, you have to actually take care of one question at a time. And there are plenty of boxes and check boxes to fill, which makes it very time consuming. But now, we have a tool which will help you to just upload the whole question, no matter how many questions you have. You may have like 100 questions in one quiz. You can upload it at once you follow some of this, all these steps. We'll show you all of those, okay? Any question at this point? All right, let's see our first type of question, which is again very basic and very common. I'm pretty sure that most of us can use multiple choice and multi-select questions in our test, quiz, and assignments. So let's say, let me show you a quick example instead of just explaining. Let's say this is my paper question in dog, okay? I tried to make the question very generic. So which of the following is a planet? So we have three choices. This is our paper question, let's say. How to convert it? Remember I said you copy and then do a little bit of modifications. Remember, this is a multiple choice question. So that means usually multiple choice question means there is one answer which will get 100% credit, okay? All you have to do is just copy it to Notepad and put an asterisk in front of the right choice. That's it. So simple, okay? Just put an asterisk. That's the only modification you need to do before you plug it into your tool, okay? We'll show you how to do it, okay? Now, it can be a little bit more exciting, maybe multi-select, right? Multi-select means you have more than one correct answer. Again, just as a reminder, the way PAWS works is if you select multi-select, I'm saying if you are using multi-select question, that means student will have to select all of this to get the full credit. I'm saying if you have 3 correct answer, you cannot select 2 out of 3. You have to select all 3, okay? Now, again, very simple. Let's say this is my question in paper. All you have to do is, the answer B, D, and E are the correct answers. All you have to do is put an asterisk before those in your text file, okay? Now, it can be a little bit more even exciting. For an example, let's say you are doing multiple choice, okay? But it's possible that some of your answer may not get full credit, but may get partial credit. Okay, let's say one of the answers. So, for example, this is my question here. My A, the choice A is the 100% correct answer. My choice B is, let's say, partial is good for partial credit. Let's say 50% or 70%. Okay, we can still do it without doing too much. So all we have to do is just put an asterisk again in front of the correct one, meaning the 100%. And we use a plus sign in front of the one which should get partial credit. Okay? How much partial credit you want to do? You can select it in the tool. I'll show you how to do that. Okay? So again, looks like this is still something that we need. Now, again, as I said, I'm just trying to add a little bit on top of what we have. Now, it's possible that in one quiz you have 10 questions. And some of the question you may have different points, right? So for an example, one question you have 1 point, and then 2 questions you have 2 points, right? It may not have like all questions with the same point. In those cases, you can just add points with every question. It's also very simple. All you have to do is just right after the question line, you will be just entering equal, then point. Now this actually means this question is worth for point 2, meaning 2 points. Okay? Now remember, you don't have to do it if you have all the questions with the same point. But let's say if you have all the questions with the 5 points, then in the tool we can select 5 for all. That's it. But if you have different points for different questions, it's possible, then you can just select that. I'm saying you can use a second line, just type equal to or whatever. For each question it will be different based on what you want. Okay? Any questions so far? We are still with multiple choice and multi-select.
Let's say you set the entire document 2 points for your question. You just have 5 questions out of 20.
So you have to do this equal point for all of those. Some of those with 15 or 5 or whatever, okay? Has to be assigned, yeah, yeah. As long as there's one is different, then it's actually you have to assign all of it, okay? But I still don't think that's like too much. Like, you just say equal 2 or equal 5. Now, let me show you a real demo that exactly how to do it, okay? So I'm doing it in my computer. So we'll first use one of my the question that I have here. Let's say I have let's say this is my paper question, okay, in doc file. Can you read it? Okay, let's say this is my doc file, okay? I'm hoping that we all have some doc file if we are not using PAWS. So we have the doc file, so every question, most of these questions are I'm saying these questions are multiple choice or multi-select, okay? Now, I have 10 questions here. So the first step is I'll copy this whole, meaning all the questions, and paste it to Notepad, okay? Let me do that. Let me copy the all the question here. I'm copying all the questions, and here is my Notepad, and I'm just pasting. So I just copied and pasted all the questions. Can you read it? Is the font good enough, or? I'm sorry? Okay. Little bigger? Okay. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Let's see. Is it good? Okay. All right. So here is my Notepad with all the questions pasted from doc file, right? Again, now I'll be doing a little bit of markups and corrections, right, before I start working with my tool. So I actually will get rid of the title because I don't need any title for PAWS because PAWS already have the titles. So I'm getting rid of title. We don't want any blank line inside the question. Okay? For an example, look at the blank line. In the second line is blank, right? So I'll be deleting that lines. Okay. Now can you tell me what is the right answer for this question? It's probably verb, right? Okay. Second one shows emotion, so it's interjection, right? Let me select it. It doesn't matter, but between the questions, make sure you at least have one space. I'm saying otherwise it'll be confusing, right? Where the end. So it doesn't matter how many blank line you have, but you have to have at least one between the question. But don't leave any blank lines inside one question. Okay? I'm sorry? Yeah, numbers.
This will work with it, like you use several formats within one text.
Yes, yeah, of course. As long as you format it right. I'm saying, let's say if you do question 1 for multiple choice formatting, question 2 for true false, question 3 for multi-select, question 5 for ordering, it will work. But I'm not showing it here all of those since we just started, right? So, but I'll show you the multiple choice and multi-select together because those are pretty close to each other, okay? All right, so question 3. Again, correct me if I make it wrong, okay? So which of the following is noun? So flower, race, garden. All right, number 4, connect sentences. See, as I think you have realized that number 3 is actually a multi-select question, right? But everything else up to number 4 is multiple choice except number 3. Number 5, adjective. So we have little, busy. Number 6, describe. So it's adjective. Number 7, noun. Number 8, verb. Number 9, adverb. Number 10, pronoun, right? Okay, so we are done with all 10 questions. Now this is the time we are pretty much done with all the modifications we need here. I think that's not too much, right? Just copy it and we'll paste it to our tool, okay? So we'll copy the whole thing here. I select the whole thing, I copied, and now I'm going to open the tool here. This is how the tools look like. It's a very simple tool. Once you install it or you get it from me, you can open it. It's just a single window, okay? So what you have to do is just paste what you have, meaning we copied that notepad, right? So we are going to paste it here. See, we just pasted all those 10 questions we just modified. So we are pretty much ready. But now remember I mentioned. So for an example, in this case, all questions will have same points. So I have at the bottom, you see here, default point value for each question. At this point, all the questions will have is good for 2 points. So if you want different points, you have to use equal, 2 or 3 after every question line. Okay. Now to make it simple, we are just using 2 points. I'm hoping that we are fine with that, right? Okay. Now let's click the create CSV, and then here's my folder. Let's see, there's I'm creating a CSV here. So yeah, my CSV is created, okay? Now let me show you how the CSV looks like. You don't actually have to check it, but I'm just showing you how it looks like inside what we have in the CSV. Now in general, if you click the CSV, it opens with Excel. In general, see how it looks like. It actually have a lot of boxes and texts. But think about this. You could have created this Excel file yourself, but how exciting it would be just to create it. I'm saying, you have to select different boxes. If you miss one box, it will mess up your question. So it's automatically created. I know that some of our faculties really want to work hard. It might. So, but I'm not one of them. So, okay, now you can even open this using Notepad. I just wanted to show you just for one time how it looks like if you want to open it using a Notepad. Sure.
When you're doing the CSV file in the Notepad file, is there any way you can add an image?
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Okay.
We'll talk about that. Okay, so now here you go. This is the same file, but if you open it using the Notepad, it actually look. Do you see how many commas you have? Those commas actually between 2 commas there is a box. So you don't. I'm saying we don't have to understand all of it, but all I'm trying to show you is the file is created. And think about the original file and what it is created. It is almost like probably 2-hour work, to create this file. It might be something, we might even make mistake. Now, once the CSV file is ready, we are actually ready to create the quiz. Let me show you. Let me create a quiz, which will. I think some of you might have created the quiz in PAWS. So what I'm going to do is I just opened one of my master copy, and then I'll be creating a quiz just as a new quiz, okay? So let me click new quiz. So let me just name it. Let's say test 1 multiple choice. I just gave the name, and then I'm just adding the question. So I click the add edit questions. Now, I'll be importing my CSV file. Remember, I already created the CSV file, right? So I'll click import, and then I'll be selecting from a D12 text format file. This actually means the CSV, okay? Because this actually means CSV. So I'll choose that CSV from here. I selected that CSV. I saved it. All the questions are uploaded right away at once. If you really want to see whether your quiz is done properly, you can close it. You can go back to the quiz and click the preview to see. Once you start the quiz, see all the quizzes with all the questions. See, you may have 100 questions and you can upload it just like a magic, okay? If you don't want to work hard like me, You can try it. And again, just as a reminder, I know that we like to take notes, but just in case, if you don't know, this lecture is being recorded in Integrity. So after the session is over, I'll send you a link to the YouTube. You can listen to the lecture no matter how many times you want. If you don't like my voice, you can even change it. And this lecture, I'll also send you the link of this Prezi. So you will, I'll also send you all the documentations of all those soft copies. So you pretty much will have everything, okay? All right, any question here? Multiple choice? Of course, yes. You have many choices of editing. One option is you can either edit here or you can edit in the original place and upload the CSV again. It's up to you, okay? It's up to you.
When you say that a test is saved as
Test.
specific test.
Test one. See,
Yeah.
again, to make it clearly clear, it doesn't have to be test. It can be test, it can be quiz, it can be anything. It's just the name I gave. I'm saying it doesn't have to be test. See, the PAWS, in PAWS, you actually set up the assignment like a test. You can set up it as a quiz. You can set it as whatever you want. I'm saying that's actually how you set up. So I just gave a name test, okay? It doesn't matter. I'm saying it doesn't have to be test, but you can do quiz, whatever you want, okay? Just as long as you have those question patterns, like multiple choice, multi-select, true, false, and those kind of questions, okay? Did it answer your question?
No. What I'm saying is that that's a specific test for one assignment, so it's only for that one assignment. It's not like a bank.
Oh, yeah. It's not like a bank. You can, okay, yeah.
The other discussion is if you can take a bank to do a test. In
Yeah.
other words, you change it around so the next person, when he opens it, will have a different question.
Okay, yeah, I think I got your question. See, to make it a little bit simple, what I did was I actually created the test from my CSV file, okay? But many times what we do is instead of creating the question directly from the CSV file, we create a question bank, okay? It's exactly the same. I'll show you how to create the question bank exactly from the same CSV. I'm saying as long as you have the CSV created by the tool, it's the same thing. But if you have a question bank, there is a little bit additional benefit you have, because sometimes what you do is, let's say you want to randomize your question, or you may want to give like 10 questions, and in your question bank you may have 50s, okay? So you can actually create, you can actually have 50 questions and create a CSV file for 50 questions, and later on, if from the question bank you can pull on the 10 question every time, or and randomize it, all of those. Let me show you, but it's still the same process, okay? Let me show you how you can still upload it in the question bank, okay? Let me show you how to upload it into the question bank. Is it still the same, no difference? Go to the question library, and let's say you create a folder. You create a section, let's say folder, because a lot of times we create a folder, under the folder we put all the questions. Now it's up to you. If you don't want to create folder, you can just put it under the root. So let's say I do multiple choice, okay? This is just a folder name, just like creating a folder in your computer, okay? Once I create the folder, I go inside the folder and I import. Again, the import process is still same. I'm importing my CSV, okay? Now I'm importing, again, pretty similar choices. D2L text format, which is the CSV file. I'm going back to my CSV here that I created. I selected this one, save it. Now this is my question bank. It's still the same process, and I'm sure that many of you have probably tried to do how to pull the question from question bank, okay?
Now, within your question bank, can you create a pool for your quiz to, like, in chapter 1?
Sure. As long as you, see, the way I do it is I create separate folder. Remember I created a folder MC, so I create separate folder. So what I do is I create one folder, let's say quiz, one folder test. So I put like chapter 1 question for test and quiz in different folders. And whenever you create the real test or quiz, you'll be pulling from which folder you want.
Okay, but on the test, like, if you have in the question bank, you have for chapter 1, you have 200 questions. If you want to create a pool of 50, and from that pool of 50, you can create like about a question, quiz 50 questions.
Sure.
So
Everything is possible. Yeah, yeah, everything is possible. Let me show you how to do this, okay? Let me show you a quick one. So for an example, let's say this is my question bank, okay? Now I'm going to again create another test from the question bank. Remember, the question bank is still uploaded from the CSV file, so you still need the tool, okay? So, but once you have the CSV file, let's go back to my quiz section. Now I'm going to create another quiz. So new quiz. So let's say we give a different name here. Let's say I said quiz 1 MC. I'm going to create it from my question bank, okay? So now I'll be importing, but I'll be importing from my existing question collection. That means I'm importing from my question bank. So if I click here, oh, I'm sorry. If I click here, I'll be able to see all my folders. So these are actually all the previous folders that I have created, and all the under each of these folder I have many questions. So what you can do is, for an example, you can create one folder for chapter 1 test. You can create one folder for chapter 1 quiz. I'm saying, you can do whatever you want. I'm saying, let's say, remember the folder I created was MC, right? Let me find that folder here. Oh, that's the question. So I'm sorry, question library, and here is my folders. Let's see, I created MC. Yeah, here is my folder. You see, all these folders, see, the way we do it is, see, all these folders we created, for an example, this is for my test 2. So these are subsections. Something you can create all those different folders and put your questions in different places. And when you just create the quiz or test, you can pull from different folders based on how you want it. Now, let me make it simple. So I'm pulling it from my multiple choice folder. Remember, in my multiple choice folder, I only have 10 questions, right? Now, I selected my multiple choice folder, and I said save. Oh, let's see what I missed. Again, let me do it again. So I selected my, okay. Let's go back to my question bank. Let's go here. Okay, I actually have the question at the bottom, so that's why. So now it's actually showing me all the questions that I have under my multiple choice folder. Is actually my 10 questions. Now look at this. Even out of these 10 questions, you can select all 10. You can select some question, 5, maybe 7. You can even do that. Okay. Now let's say I'm going to create a quiz with only 5 questions, but out of these 10. So what I'm going to do is I'll select all the questions. I'm selecting all my questions and clicking save. But again, and now I have actually all the questions, okay? So basically this is a quiz created 10 out of 10. But how about if you want to really have a quiz with some questions? And remember, you were asking what happens if you want to create a quiz with 5 questions out of 10. Then there is something called randomized folder. Let me show you how to do that. Let's say I create a different folder. Do you see there is a section named random section? So I create a random section. I create another section, let's say MC1. Random section means this section is something which will be always pulling the question randomly from a question bank, okay? Now, random section also looks a little bit different. If you go to PAWS, it looks a little bit of purplish something. So the icon is a little bit different. So you'll know it from there. It's a random section. All you have to do is go to the random section, again import the question. So let me import it from my question bank, which is my MC. So this is my MC, all the 10 questions. Now I actually imported, okay, so maybe I actually have to delete this folder because that was the previous one I created, like 10 questions. So then don't, okay. Now let's go back to my question, import it. Let's select this one. I selected all my 10 questions. But here I will say, okay, now at the bottom I have all my 10 questions, okay? But I have to tell how many I want out of 10. Let's say I want only 5 every time, okay? All I'll be telling is I want just 5 questions every time. I just said, okay, I want 5 questions out of 10, okay? And then I can say, okay, each question should be worth for 2 points, okay? and then all I have to do is just do save. So I'm pretty much done. So that means, see, I still uploaded using my question bank, and then I pulled all the 10 questions, but I said I want to pull only 5 out of these 10 every time. Now, if you just go to the preview of this quiz, because the quiz is already created, if you look at the preview of this quiz, let's see how it looks. See, we have only 5 questions. See, we just have 5 questions, and every time it will be randomized. It will be in different order. It will be just pulled from those 10 questions. So you can do your own randomization, like pull 100, 10 from 100. It will be like a lot of randomizations and a lot of permutations and combinations. Okay. The computer will decide how it will be randomized. So for an example, they will not have the same test. It's almost guaranteed, but probably in 1 out of 1,000 it's possible that 2 people may have the same question. If we have any, so for an example, even if you have same question, for an example, even if you have same question, let's say for an example, two students have the same question, they may not be in the same order. It's very unlikely that they will have same question in same order, and it's very unlikely. And if you really want to make your chances greater, take 5 out of 100. So. Five.
All 10 of the questions.
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
Yeah.
In that instance, the questions will just
Randomized. Yeah. Yeah. If you select 10 out of 10, yeah, then everybody will have the same question, but it will be different order. This is still a lot of different orders. Yeah. It will be still different orders. No. In this case, no. No. In this case, no. Okay. But again, I'm saying if your question number 1 is somebody's question number 5, it's hard to actually match the ABCD. It doesn't actually randomize the ABCD in this case. Okay. It only randomizes the question numbers. It actually keeps the same ordering of ABCD. Yeah, but again, I'm saying, as I said, if you really want to make a lot of randomization, pull 5 out of 100 or at least 5 out of 20. It will, it's very unlikely that a student will have same set of questions. Very unlikely.
So does that prevent a little cheating there?
It's hard to, to cheat. Yeah, I'm saying to cheat, they have to really work hard. which they don't. I'm saying, so. See. Not one question for the whole quiz. Yeah. You can do plenty of different things, but yeah, and again, just a quick thing. See, think about this. If you have to work hard to cheat, then to have a good test, then probably you will not cheat, right? So that's the idea. I'm saying they have to really work hard to find somebody else who is matching with the same question. I mean, it's probably not possible. And you can, again, you have the control. You can, randomize like 5 out of 100. I'm saying that's impossible for anybody to even match 1. Okay, let me go back to our presentation. I'm hoping that we answered all the questions, right, so far? Anyone has any question? We'll show you some more demos, so you will get, again, some chances to see some more questions. All right, let's try our second type of very common question, true false. All right, so true false is, again, even simpler than multiple choice. So for an example, let's say you have a question. That's your paper question, okay? That's your paper question. And when you modify, remember, once you copy into Notepad, you do a little bit of modifications. All you have to do is just say whether this is true or false. If it is true, just write true. You don't have to even say false. If it is true, just true, okay? And remember, this equal to is optional. I'm saying remember, if you have different questions with different points, then you actually write equal to, equal 5, and those kind of things. If you have all questions with same points, you don't, it doesn't matter. So all you have to just say true, okay? Or all you have to just say false. All right, let's look at a quick demo with the true-false question. Again, we'll be pretty much doing the same steps, but I'll show you the modifications that we do for the true-false. Now, let's say I have here a history question with all the true and false answer, okay? And I'm hoping that you know the answer of all these questions better than me. Okay, let's try to answer it first. Okay, remember, all we have to do is just write true or false based on the statement we have. And again, we don't want to keep any blank lines inside any question. Okay. All right. First question. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Let's copy it to Notepad first. Okay. Let's copy it to Notepad. Let's copy it. Let's copy and
What if you have already a sub A, B, or something like that, true or false?
you have to get rid of A and B.
You have to
Just write true and false, nothing else. Okay. That's very unlikely, right? To have an A and B. I'm saying true and yeah, maybe just delete the A, B, and all those things. Just write true and false. Okay, now let's say here again, I always get rid of the title. So I'm getting rid of the title, no blank lines. Now this statement, true, right? Second one, true. Third one, make sure you correct me if I make mistake. Number 4, true. Number 5, true. Number 6, false. Number 7, false. This is also false. False. Okay, as you have realized, I just don't want to keep any blank lines. Just a statement and then true or false. And again, if you want to make different points, you can always write it right after the question line. Equal to or equal 1 or whatever, okay? All right, let's copy all of these. I copied all of these and I'll be pasting into my tool. I cleared the previous text, paste it. So now I have all these 10 questions pasted, and each question is worth for 1 point, for an example. Now every question will have same point, right? So, and then I click create CSV file, and then here is my, let's say I'm creating another CSV. So the CSV is created. Let me show you how the CSV look like. This is the CSV I just created. This is how it looks like. Okay. But you don't have to check it. I'm saying we are just showing you as an example that how it should look like. As you can see, with each question, in each question, we have 100 points given to either true or false based on whether it is true or false, right? I'm saying that's automatically created based on what we selected. Now, we'll be using this CSV to create, again, what we can do, since you are interested about the randomized question, remember we already created a quiz with all the randomized question. We can add some questions there as well. Okay, so let us first pull all this question into our question bank. We have 10 true-false question now. Let's pull this question into our question bank. So I'm going to my question library. I'm creating a new section. This is true-false. So this is a new section I'm creating. I'm not creating the quiz right now. I'm just uploading the question into my question library. So I'm importing the question. This is from a CSV file. So I selected from a D12 text format file, which is actually a CSV file. Choose the file. Yes, demo2 CSV. Okay, now I saved it. So all my questions are, oh, I actually pulled it here. So let me pull it inside TF. So I actually pulled it under the road. So I'm just pulling it inside the TF folder. It's the same procedure. So I'll do it inside the. All right, so I have all my 10 questions here. These all are the true-false questions under the TF folder. Now let me go back to my quiz. Remember I created a quiz which has the randomized folder. So now let me, remember in that quiz what I have 5 questions pulled from multiple choice and multi-select, right? Now I'll be pulling 5 questions from true-false. I have 10 questions in my true-false folder. So here is the quiz 1. So all I have to do is just go to the quiz and add or edit question. So as you can see, I already have one folder, right? That is the previous random section. Now this time you have to actually create a random section because since you want to randomize from the question library question. So I'm creating a random section. Now the name of my random section is TF. This is my random section. And I'm going inside the random section and I'll be pulling from my question library. So here is my library. So, and here is my folder, true, false. Now once you select it, you actually see all these 10 questions at the bottom. These are the questions you just uploaded, right? 10 questions from the CSV file. You select all these 10 questions, save it, but PAWS is going to ask how many you want from this from this 10. Let me say we want 5 out of this 10, right? So that means we, in the same quiz, will be selecting 5 questions from multiple choice. We are selecting 5 questions from true false. So you can select from different folders. So we'll be actually creating one single quiz from different folders, randomizing since you want to see the randomization. Now, since I said 5 and save it, we are pretty much done. Click the done editing question. Now, if you want to test the question to see whether everything is done properly, start the quiz. See, I have now 10 questions. My first 5 questions are actually pulled from the parts of speech, multiple choice, multi-select question. Those are randomized, okay? My second questions, see, starting from number 6, my remaining 5 questions are true false, just pulled from my 10 true false questions. This is, you know, now it's getting more randomization, right? 5 from here, 5 from there, and if you have even more sections coming, it will be a lot of randomization. It's actually hard for anybody to match and find the exact same match with the same ordering. Any question here? All right, so let's try our next type of, all right, so let's try ordering question or sorting question. Okay. Now, I tried to make the question again very generic. So this is my sorting question. Order the following planets according to the distance from the sun, shortest to longest. Okay. Now here are all the options we have for the ordering. Now what we do, remember, once we paste into text, we do a little bit of formatting, right? All we do is we just write order in front of the question. See, we just wrote order here, right? Make sure, because this is, we write just to make sure that D2L understands that we are writing the order question, okay? So we just write order, and then we order this planet in the correct order. So this is the correct order, meaning this should be the right answer. You know what I'm saying? Again, when you give the question to the student, it PAWS automatically randomizes it, okay? So don't worry about that one. So what you need to do is just keep it in the same order when you edit it, okay, in text. So basically what I did is I copied from my test paper question to text. I just wrote one single word order at the beginning, and then I ordered in the correct order. Okay. Let me show you again a quick demo of how to do this. Again, I'm going back to my demo folder here. So this is for my ordering. So here is my, again, some US history question, and I'm hoping that you know the answers better than me. So, so I have I have some questions here. Sort the names of the US presidents in the order they ruled. So again, I can always add points, but I'm not going to do it because I'm just having the same point for all three questions. Okay, now, and I don't want to, let me copy it first and paste it to a notepad file. I copied it. Let me paste it to a notepad file. This is my notepad file. I pasted here. So I will get rid of my titles, no blank lines, and then I'm going to order it, okay? George Washington. Is this the right order? Okay. Number 2. Right order? Yes. I'm sorry? Oh, yeah. So in front of every question I write order, right? I'm sorry. Order. Okay, here, Abraham Lincoln. Oops. Right order? Okay, so what I did is I actually added the word order in front of all the question, each of the question, and then I ordered it properly, okay? Now, I'm pretty much ready to paste it to my tool. So I'm selecting, copying the whole file, and then pasting it to my tool. So here is my tool, I pasted. Here is my 3 question I pasted. Now I'm going to create my CSV file. So let me write. So I created a CSV file. Now, if you really want to see the CSV, this is how, I'm sorry, that's not probably this one, ordering, right? Okay, this one. This is the CSV created, okay? So let me close this one and let's try to add another folder to my question bank. Let's go back to the quiz section and then question library. Create a new section called order. Inside that new section, I'm going to import my CSV file. That means all my 3 questions here. See, all my 3 questions are uploaded into question bank. Now, once I'm done here, I'm going back to my quiz. Remember, I'm actually adding a new folder to the quiz to get a random. Quiz 1, then I already have 2 randomized folder here, okay? So one is pulling 5 questions from multiple choice and 5 questions from other folder is pulling 5 questions from true false. Now I'll be creating another folder for ordering, for an example. Again, this time I have to create a random section, right? Because I want to randomize it. I'm creating a randomized section. I am doing order here, save it. So this is my new randomized section. So I'll be pulling the question from my question bank because I already have the questions, 3 questions, right? So I'm pulling from there. So my order folder here. So here is my 3 question at the bottom. I select all 3, but I just want to pull 1 question every time, let's say for an example. So that means the PAWS will pull 1 question out of the 3 every time, okay, from this ordering question, okay. So this will be my question number 11, remember, because I pulled 5 questions from multiple choice. The next 5 questions I pulled from true false. Number 11 I'm pulling from, because I'm pulling just 1 question out of 3. And it's all randomizing because 1 question is being pulled from 3 questions. So I saved it here. I'm pretty much done. If you want to see the preview, so I now have 11 questions. So the first 5 questions are multiple choice, right? Then my next 5 questions are true false. Again, remember this 5 questions, the first 5 questions are pulled from my 10 multiple choice question, right? Second 5 questions are pulled from my 10 true false question. And the last question, meaning which is the ordering question, is actually pulled from my 3 ordering question. So it's all randomized, okay? Because if you just start a new quiz, I'm saying again you refresh it, you'll see a different, different questions with different ordering, okay? Look at the question number 11. See the question number 11. Remember, we actually sorted it correctly, but look at the question number 11. It actually randomized the ordering, right? You see the question is randomized. But you actually entered it proper order, but PAWS always randomize it. Any question?
You could actually do a multiple choice that way and randomize.
You can do almost anything, meaning multiple choice randomization with, because see now I have in my quiz, I have multiple choice question which is randomized. I have some true false question which are also randomized. I have an ordering question which is randomized in the sense that you are pulling from 3, right? 1 from 3. So every time it will be different. If you just, if you probably refresh it, you'll probably see another instance of the question, I'm guessing. Let me see. If I refresh it, let's check the last question, then probably we can tell whether it's randomized. See, the question is changed. I just refreshed it. That means it's actually, see, this is a different question this time. But out of those 3 again, so.
Can you go to the images?
Yeah. There will be image for sure, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I missed that.
All right, so matching questions, okay? So I think we now understand the idea. So let's say you have some matching question in this order, okay? So for an example here, you just have to match the number with the, words. So 3. So what happens in the matching question? Sometimes you may have more choices in the right side than left side, right? So some of the choices may be invalid, but So what we do is, in every matching question, we actually write a word match at the beginning. Okay, see, I wrote match here, and then I can assign a point. Remember, it's always under my control. But remember, in case of matching question, what PAWS does is, PAWS actually gives the equal weight to all the options. So for an example, under your matching, if you have 3 matching, and your total point is 3, and you made 2 right, it will give you automatically 2 out of 3. Something is always equally weighted. I'm saying you don't have to do anything for that. It's automatically done. Now what we do a little bit of formatting, right? What do is this, 3/3, meaning that's the choice, okay? And remember, one of the choice was invalid, right? So you have an extra at the right. So we just leave it like this, /4. One thing I realized that you can have extra options at the right side, not at the left, okay? So again, very simple. So here is a little bit of demo. So I just have probably 1 question for this one to make it a little bit faster. So here is let's say my ordering question. I'm sorry, not the ordering. Matching question. This is my matching question. So all I have to do is to match the capital to the state. I'm copying it and pasting it to Notepad. So I'm pasting it to Notepad. Now I'll be doing my little modifications. I'm getting rid of the title here first, and then I'm writing match in front of the question. No blank space here. Now I'm going to write the writing the right answer. I did not try it, but I don't think the space is necessary as long as you're giving the slash. Yeah, yeah. Okay, now let me delete everything we have at the right side. Okay, as you can see, I have one extra option at the right side, CRO. So I'll keep it like this. I keep it like this, okay? Because I still want to give that option, but there is no right matching for that. So now I'm ready for my tool. I'll copy it, and then I'm going to paste it to the tool. Here is my tool. I paste it here. So once I paste it, I create the CSV, and let me make a different name here. So I created the CSV. So is it still the same procedure how to upload it? So I think we can skip this demo, right? Just, because it's still the same process, okay? All right, so any question?
How are you fill in the blank?
Fill in the blank can be done just like a multiple choice.
Just like that?
Yeah, you can just give blank and then option A, B, C, D, just like multiple choice. Yeah, or short answer, but we'll talk about the short answer, meaning if you want them to type in, that's what we'll talk soon, okay? Now, let's see. Okay, we are just done with the matching, and we, shown some demo. Now, we can do a little bit of more things here. For an example, let's see if you want to add hints to your question, okay? I was really trying to give the hint to our student, not to you. So look at the hint and the first question. So, which of the following is a planet? Right answer is Earth, and if you want to give the hint like this one, is the planet that you live on.
No one missed it.
It's not guaranteed, okay? All right. So so you can give feedback like this, okay? So again, you can give feedback to any of the question. Just at the very end of the question, start with a question mark, and then write something. It will be treated as a feedback. Okay, I'm saying not a feedback, hint. Okay. You can also give feedback to your question. Remember, the feedback means once they answer it, they see the feedback. Okay. Now, feedback can be added for each question, or feedback can be added for every selection. For an example, if you want to add feedback with every question, so look at the first one. What we did? We just did here at the rate, and then we gave the feedback. So this means we are giving the feedback for the question, meaning no matter what they select, they will see the feedback at the end. Okay. Now, for the second question, we are actually trying to give the feedback for every option they select. So they will actually see the feedback based on what they selected. So the way we do it is for every answer, meaning for every choice, use 2 at the rate and then write the feedback. So if they select A, they'll see the feedback correct. Okay? So they see the feedback accordingly. Now, you can also do the feedback for the true-false question. You see how you do it is at the true-false, you just write T at the rate at the rate. That means if you select true, you see this. If you select false, you see this. Again, the feedback and hints already are there in PAWS. I'm saying you can always do it in PAWS, but you can also do it here. That's something, if you want. Adding image. Okay? We may have image with every question. It's very simple. All you have to do is, with every question, what I do is, I actually have a lesson image, right? Many of you probably have explored PAWS. If you have not, there is a folder where there is, I think, what do you call it? Manage files. If you go there, you can create your own folder. So what I usually do is I go there, I create a folder called quiz images. It doesn't have to be quiz images. I'm saying it can be anything else that you like. And under that folder, I keep all my image. Okay? And then when I do it in D2L question importer tool, all I do is, say, let's say for an example, I have an image for question number 7. I just write img equal, just right after the question, I just write img equal, and then I give the path. Quiz images, and then I write the file name. Make sure you write it exactly as it is in PAWS. Now, very simple procedure. You do not have to have this image when you are uploading the CSV file, because basically the images are pulled only when you start the test or quiz. Otherwise, CSV just knows the path. It's possible that in that path there is no file. That's not a problem, okay? I have even seen this. If you have these, and then let's say you forgot to upload the image, right? And then if you start the quiz, it doesn't even show you any error message. It just skips the image, okay? But I'm sure we don't want that, but I'm just saying that you don't have to have the image before you have the CSV. Make sure you have it both, before your students start the test or quiz. Any question here? And again, don't think that all the image should have the same extension. I'm saying I just use JPG because that's one of the compressed formatted image, and that loads very fast since it's compressed. But you can use your own image.
Okay, question. We've got quiz images / JPEG. Where is the quiz image file?
Yeah, that's a folder. Let me show you. That's actually inside the PAWS.
In PAWS, okay. So
Let me show. Let me quickly show you where it is. It's actually here. Do you see this one? Okay, let me enlarge it. Do you see this at the very left, green small icon? Everyone see it? If you click it, this is your place where you will find something called Manage Files. So if you click Manage Files, you should be able to see all the folders you have created. You may not see anything. You can create your own folder here. Let's say for an example, you say new folder and create your folder, okay? So you can create your own folder like quiz images. And later on, inside that folder, you can upload your files, as many files as you want. So it's basically your folder you are creating. And it doesn't have to be quiz image. It can be anything that you want. I'm saying whatever name you want, okay? So as long as you go to the manage files.
Now, what's the copyright on images?
Say it again.
If you take an image off the internet, are you allowed to use it?
That's probably something else, but you can give the reference, right?
I guess, yeah. Give
Yeah.
a reference and it'll be okay.
Yeah, should be,
I mean,
yeah.
see, the course may not necessarily give an image, so you might have to find
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
and-
sure.
But as long as you reference it,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
okay.
Of course, yes.
Okay,
Yeah, anything can be cited, right? I'm saying if you're citing, then it should be fine.
okay.
Yeah, and you can cite even in the image because it should be at the bottom of the image. That means that will be in the image file. You cannot have a separate line written there, right? It has to be in the image file.
Okay.
I'm saying, as long as you cite it, should be fine. Any question about the manage files? All right, so
I have a question really quick.
sure. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed you. Question.
That's how you do an image. Can you do an audio file?
That means if you click it, it will play the audio. I did not explore it, but so you want to do it in PAWS, right? Maybe
So
what?
like, for example, I teach Spanish, so I want them to listen to something and then answer questions on it.
Yeah. Let me try to do it. I'll let you know over the email if I can find something. But I'm hoping that even if not image, it can be it can be done in a different manner. But I'll explore it
It
a little
says
bit.
that you can upload video and sounds to files. I saw this in files. You can upload both, video and sound.
Yeah. But it doesn't. It's not for question. It's just for the content section.
Oh, on the
Yeah,
content.
yeah. I'm saying in general, we upload video for the content section, right? Let's say the student are supposed to listen some audio or video. I'm saying, you can always do it, but not for the quizzes. It's something else. All right, so let's go back. Any question about the image? image.
When you have keying, like you have a building and you have different parts of the building, and it's a multiple choice or ordering or whatever, do you have to label the image with all these little like sections like A, B, C, D on the image itself?
Exactly. Yes.
And then
Then on the bottom you said the image A, image B. Yeah.
So you have to edit the image,
Image,
with all
exactly.
all the keys to it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
You can edit the image and put it in one single image. And in the bottom you write, okay, image A or level A, level B, level C, level
So
D.
when they
Okay.
see the question,
Mhm. Under
the
the-
image would always be the same, and then there's a question under it. Is that the way it works?
Yeah, image will be at the top and the question and then options.
Okay, there's only one question,
Exactly.
so you go to the next question, you do the same image.
But you have to still write the same IMG line in the next question as well.
All right, so it's
You have to write the IMG for every question
Okay.
separately, even if that is the same image.
All right.
You can load the same image for millions of questions, doesn't matter. Yeah, sure. All right, now let's have a little bit more excitement here. So this is our last type of question, short answer, because I know that many of you probably need the short answer where the student will have to write something, right? And you want to grade it automatically by PAWS. Let's see whether we can cover it. So the short question is also easy. For an example, here is a very simple example. Let's say this is your paper question. Please identify the learning management system you are using. Okay? Now, in the short question, the way you do it is you start with SA capital. That stands for short answer, and then you give at the end you give the options. So for an example, the right answer is D12. Okay? So you just write D12. Don't forget, you still can use equal 5 or those kind of thing, or image. You can still do those. So you just write D12, which is actually the right choice and what for 100%. But there is a chance that you might have some other answer which is what for partial grade. So you can just write, let's say, campus you learn, and you want to give it 50%. So you can just write percent 50. So you can give as many as you want, like even with the partial credit. Okay, right answer, you can give as many as you want. Okay, let me show you a little bit more exciting ones. For an example, how about this? Since you are asking the question D12, remember, student can write D12 in many different ways, right? Capital D to capital L, small d to capital L. I'm saying, at least 4 different variants of these, right? So you probably can write all of those options and with one partial ones, but sometimes it's actually harder to cover all the options because it's probably a lot of choices, okay? So in those cases, what we do is, instead of writing all the choices, you can just write a single expression called regular expression, which is very simple to write. Now this is how you write it. For an example, instead of writing D, capital D to capital L, small d to capital L, I'm saying instead of writing that, what you can do is you can start here. Look at this. This is a regular expression. You always start the regular expression with $, meaning that stands for something for PAWS to understand you are going to write a regular expression. So expression actually starts from here. Now this means your first letter will be either capital D or lower d, meaning uppercase D or lowercase d. The next one would be a digit 2. The next one would be small capital L or lowercase l. So that means it's actually covering all the 4 choices. You see what I'm saying? So you just are writing one single expression to cover all the 4 choices here. So that means instead of writing all the choices, it's just one single. And sometimes, you know what? This short answer is even more interesting because think about our students. They may start with a space and then write D12, okay? Or they can just write D12 and put a space. Or they can just write D12, put an enter, right? So that means they can write a lot of different ways and all the answers are right? How do you cover it? Again, regular expression. Let me show you another exciting version of it. But before I do that, let me show you how useful the regular expression is if you can write it. For an example, if your answer is DEIT, think about how many different ways a student can write DEIT. Even if you don't consider the space and enter, they can still write it in 16 different ways. You don't want to write all the 16 answer, right? I'm saying I know that you can if you want to work hard, but you can always write the regular expression. So all you have to do is just this. D or D, smaller, all is just like a smaller capital, a smaller capital, a smaller capital. This one single expression will cover all the 16 choices. That's it. One answer. Let me try to see whether we can make it more exciting. Regular expression has only 3 operators, meaning it uses 3 operators to basically make all the choices, which is very simple. Let me show you here. One operator is asterisk. So if you just do BE asterisk, asterisk means 0 or more choices. That means this actually covers all of these. Only B, that means E is none. Only B 1E, and then B 2E, then B 4E, B hundreds E, B millions E. Think about this, how many choices you have? Infinite, right? It covers all of it if you just write BE asterisk. That's it. It's very powerful. If you write BE question mark, this is my second operator, question mark. If you just write BE question mark means 0 or 1. That means E can be 0 time or 1 time. That means, you see here, the first time there is no B, right? And the second one, there's 1B. That means 0BE or 1E. And the very third and the last one is called plus. This means 1 or more. That means you may have 1E or more E. More means what? 1 to million, billion, trillion, doesn't matter. Okay? So these 3 operators, asterisk, question mark, and plus sign, will take care of all different possibilities. Okay? Let me show you another real example. Let's say you have a very simple question. Add 4 plus 2. The right answer is 6. Now think about our students, how many different ways they can write 6. They can write 6, they can write 06, they can write 1006, they can write 10006, they can write 6.0, they can write 6.100, they can put a space and 0 and 6, and they can put a 6 and enter. So it's basically infinite choices, right? How to cover it? Just one single expression, and that's it. So I tried to make it a little bit simple here. So look at what we did. We just said, again, E $ stands for regular expression. So it will be always there if you're writing a regular expression in question importer tool. This /s stands for space, enter, and tab. That means they can have any number of space, tab, or enter at the beginning. They may give like 1 space, 100 space, 10 enter, doesn't matter. Okay? And then they can have any number of zeros, maybe no zeros at the beginning. Okay? Then they have to have at least 1 6, right? 1 6, and they can have 1 decimal point, and after that as many zeros as possible. Basically, this actually means, because there is a question mark. Now question mark means none, right? Or 1. 1 means decimal point following zeros. How many zeros? As many as possible. So that's basically will cover all the zeros following the decimal point. And then they may have again tab, space, or enter at the end. Think about this one single expression. It will cover almost billions, trillions of different ways of writing the right choice, meaning the infinite choices. And another way can be student can write 6 as SIX, right? So this is the choice. S capital small, I capital small, X capital small. And before 6, they may have a space, tab, enter. After 6, they may have a space, tab, enter. As many times as possible. That means if you just write these 2 expressions for this question, no matter how they write 6, as long as they write the right answer, it will be taken by PAWS. So basically, I'm not saying that you will run into regular expression, but there is a chance, and this is really exciting. If you really run into regular expression, if you're trying to develop any quiz or question, bank, then if you really struggle, just send me an email. I can write you regular expression, but make sure you send me your answer. Don't assume I know the answer, okay? So send the question and send the answer, and then I can write you regular expression and send you back to email. So it's not a big deal. I will also give you one handout for the regular expression, which is a very simple tutorial for the regular expression written for D2L. Okay. Regular expression can be written for many, many different things, but this is a special one written only for D2F.
When will you be sending out the thing to send, like the CSV?
Yes. So after this session is over, I'll send you that tool over the email. I'll also send the link of this presentation. I'll send you the recorded lecture because this lecture is being recorded in integrity. I'll send you the lecture recorded with this video and the voice at the background with all the discussions and everything that we have had here. And you will also, I'll also send you all these soft copies if you want, okay? So you will pretty much will have a lot of resources, and you can also send me an email in case you have any question. And also I'm hoping that you might want to start with your quiz or question library, or you may run into trouble with the regular expression. Send me an email, I can write you regular expression. So I'll skip the demo for this part because this is pretty much we covered. Now, this is what we have learned today. From using the question importer tool, we can save our time and energy. Okay, we don't have to work hard. We can do a little bit work smartly, and it makes our life easy. It improve our productivity and performance because you can do a lot of things in a short amount of time. And of course, it changes your students' lives. This is how it actually changes. For an example, in my class, what I do is I give my student unlimited chances for their quizzes within the deadline. But what I do is this. Let's say I give them 10 questions for one quiz, but I actually upload 50 questions in my question bank. So every time they start over, they see some new questions, some old questions, and that's how they practice. I don't think, at least I cannot grade for unlimited number of times. So PAWS can do it, and I'm taking the advantage of it, okay? So that's one thing. And even I give my students second chance in their test. So for every section they start, what they do is they submit the first time, they see their grade, and the question they missed. They don't see the right answer. They just see the question they missed. If they want, they start it over. They don't see the same question, they see the similar question. But if they want to do the second chance, that is their grade. It's like a little bit of trade-off. If you go for the second chance, that's your grade, so that they don't just play around. But I have seen it a lot of times. Even what we do is I'll be offering a new session in probably sometime in fall or probably in spring. I'm hoping that we'll show you how to write the gradebook equations, because now I think we all have to have the PAWS gradebook, right? I've been using the gradebook for a long time, the PAWS one, and where I can write a single equation for every class. I don't have to write it every semester because it's being cloned. And that equation does a great thing for me. This is what it does. Because in most of my classes are like building blocks. For an example, if you don't understand chapter 1, 2, and chapter 3, there is no way you can understand chapter 4 in my classes, okay? I understand that some classes may be different. So what I do is, if my student doesn't do good in test 1, automatically the test 2 can replace the test 1. Just writing one equation, okay? So you don't have to do anything. It automatically does it. I'm saying you don't have to do anything in your gradebook. All you have to do is write an equation. So what I do is in my class, any future test can replace the previous one. So usually what happens, if the student missed their test 1 or bad grade in test 1, they know that they missed A. They get frustrated. Over the time, they get more frustrated. But in my class, that never happens. Because my student knows until the very last minute of the semester, they can change their grade, which actually drives them to work hard. I'm not saying that it works for everybody, but I have seen many of our students change their grade at the very last minute because they missed something at the beginning, they made it up, and they got the grade. So until the very last minute, so I don't even have to generate the grade, because once I write the equation, it automatically updates the grade and it keeps it updated. So a student can see their grade every moment. They can see the average of the class, statistics every moment. I don't have to do anything. Even at the end of the semester, the grades are automatically generated. They can see the grade. I just copy and paste the grade, and I can just copy the XLS file for my record and for departmental record. So I don't do any grading, and don't tell it to anybody else, who work in the administration. Any?
If I have my test on the test bank do I have to copy this to the notepad or then put it to the notepad?
We prefer Notepad because Notepad, get rid of all the formats.
I won't be able to export it, you put it on.
What is that one?
It's just a test bank for the publisher.
See, the test, I don't know how the format is there, but most of the test bank also comes in doc file. So once you have doc file, you know the rest, right? You just copy from doc to, see the reason we prefer to use Notepad, because Notepad get rid of all the hidden formatting we have in Word. Word has a lot of hidden formatting you don't see, okay? So which actually causes a lot of trouble when you'll be using the tool. So you can use Notepad or Wattpad, but Notepad is probably the most primitive one, which is probably the best one.
So do you create a formula and you feed it to the gradebook and solve?
Yes, yes. And you can just do it just once, because every time it will be cloned.
And your grade will automatically be
So every time, see,
calculating that formula?
exactly. No. That's not the one. So when students submit their quizzes, the grade is automatically there, right? The PAWS graded. And their grade is automatically calculated from those grades using my formula. And they can see their grade from the day one. They can see the grade ladder from the day one. So every moment, see, a lot of times the student come to you and say, oh, do you know where I'm standing right now? It's really hard. I'm saying, again, as I mentioned, I don't want to work hard. So they can see their grade every moment, and every single student submits something, average changes. All I tell to my student is try to keep up with your average. So if you are 35% and the average of the class is 45, that means you are behind. Okay, I also know you are behind. Okay, you are behind. And if you are 35% and if you are not behind, you may be behind tomorrow because somebody else is submitting something and the average is increasing every moment. So you can just see the average and you can just run after the average, and that's all you have to do. And so they know exactly where they're standing compared to the rest of the class, and it's actually humanly impossible to do all of those calculations yourself. I know that you can work hard, but still, I don't think it's a very good choice, okay? And you don't even have to do anything. I'm saying no grade calculation, nothing. I'm saying all you have to do is just a little bit work hard at the beginning to write an equation. Once you're done, it's ready to go. And then at the end of the semester, your grade is generated. You copy the grade and paste it into My Southwest, and then you just download the XLS file. You can automatically download the XLS file. You can feed it for the record, for departmental record, and that's it. I've been doing it for several years now. That's what? Yeah, we'll offer a different session. We'll offer a different session. I actually wanted to squeeze it here, but somebody said no. I thought probably it would not be a good idea to do all of these things here. So we
really want is we want to give you our grading scale and have you plug it in so it will automatically.
Yeah, of course.
No, I mean, I'm impressed.
Can you add that to our tutorial? Can you add that into our consider some stuff? Can that be?
I can, but I don't want to. We don't want to scare each other at this point. But I can do that, of course. Yes. But probably.
Offer it in the future.
Yeah. We'll do it very soon. Hopefully, the session. If you see the session, be great as smart in PAWS. That's the session it will be. Okay. Great smart, like this one. Yeah. Be great smart in PAWS. Probably we'll have this session soon. So that will be the one. Any other question? Please. Yeah.
I got a bunch of quizzes that I want to import into the question library.
Okay.
How do I do that?
What kind of questions are those? Just like the short question, I'm saying the multiple choice.
Yeah, I just want to just put them in the question library, then I can.
So you have it where? In the doc file?
No, I don't have it in a document file. I have it in the quiz section.
Oh.
I made the quiz section, but I didn't put them in the question library.
Oh, okay. You cannot do that once you load it there. You actually have to load it from outside. I'm saying you already have it in the quizzes, right? But not in the question library. You cannot do it inside the PAWS. I don't know why they did not do it. I'm saying they don't let you do it. But so where did you get this question?
No, the quiz that I created.
I understand. Yeah.
I created them, but I did not put the questions in the question library. I want to put the questions in the question library.
Yeah, you cannot go back to the question library. The only way you can do it is you can create the question like we did and upload it into the question bank. And that's one of the magic you have, because see, what happens is if you just follow the traditional PAWS, you have to do the same effort again and again if you are doing the same question. But now you have all the records. Let's say for an example, I'm just saying this just as a feature. Let's say if you left Southwest and you went somewhere else with D2L, you can get the same class within 24 hours because you have all the question bank CSV files. You don't have to write anything as long as they have D2L. Plenty of schools have D2L. That's it. Because University of Memphis has D2L. Let's say you left Southwest and you went to the University of Memphis. You can create the same class with same question bank within 24 hours, even less. But the problem with the PAWS is the way we create the PAWS right now, we cannot, copy it. I'm saying you have to even create the same instance of question again and again. Any other question? Please send me an email in case you have any question later on. And again, if you like this session, please evaluate the session when you get a chance. And I like to thank our program coordinator, Janet Sykes, because she's the one who did all the, she's the driving force for me to motivate all of these, that motivated. And I have been working since 2010, especially, I'm thinking probably 2011 with all of these, okay? Send me an email just in case you have anything. And again, yeah, I'll send everything. Yeah, of course, yes. Over the email. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I have imported questions into question banks,
Okay, just a second.
but I don't think I have that